In this video, we're going to examine Kaizen and how it helped a hospital ER, a car manufacturer, and a distribution/retail center. If you want to go to a particular section in the video, timestamps are at the bottom. If this video was helpful, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel where we talk about inventory management, policies and procedures, and planning. Hence the name, No One Plans to Fail. Business owners have told me, we want to make improvements in our business, but DMAIC is complex. And it is true. DMAIC can be complex and expensive. Without the proper staff in place, it can be difficult. So what is the solution? Kaizen. Kaizen? What is Kaizen and how can it help me? Kaizen is a Japanese term that means change for the better or continuous improvement. Kaizen aims to improve a process by making small incremental changes that result in significant improvements over time. Kaizen focuses on empowering frontline employees to identify and solve problems in their work processes. It involves a company-wide commitment to improving every aspect of the business. Kaizen founding elements are teamwork, personal discipline, improved morale, quality circles, and suggestions improvement. How is Kaizen different from DMAIC? Well, DMAIC is usually for a larger scale process improvement projects. Kaizen is focused on recommendations from frontline employees and making small improvements on a regular basis. DMAIC follows a strict 5-step process, whereas Kaizen can be implemented less formally. Kaizen empowers the people that will be affected by the changes. DMAIC requires trained project managers in Six Sigma. DMAIC relies heavily on data analysis, while Kaizen encourages experimentation and trial and error to identify and implement improvements. Whether you use DMAIC or Kaizen, I recommend the development of a project charter. Also, get that project charter approved by everyone affected. So we want to look at some real life examples of Kaizen. The first one we're going to look at is actually at a hospital. So a hospital was having issues with their ER department. If you've ever been to an ER, you realize how frustrating it can be because you will wait and wait and wait. The hospital was asking its frontline employees to resolve the problem. So they took it on as a project. They said, well, what is the problem? The problem is customers are upset that has waited in the ER for a long period of time before they get the help they need. And in the end, it is the transfer process of arriving to the ER, then getting to be triaged, and then getting to a room, and then being able to see a doctor, and then on to the next step, whether it's test or whether it may be going to an inpatient room or just seeing the doctor, getting a script and leaving. So the challenge was to reduce the transfer time. The team that actually worked the ER had the objective to work on the transfer process. It wasn't some bureaucrat or someone in a back office looking at data. It was frontline employees that was taking care of people coming into the hospital to determine how can we have this process less painful and quicker. So after the employees, the team was able to come up with little changes along the way. The hospital came in and standardized that process for everyone coming through the ER. In the end, it was about a 20% reduction on average 20% reduction of time in the ER. That makes a big difference. In the case of this ER, the team was able to make small changes in how they did things, which resulted in a large decrease in time, which provided happier customers. If this video was helpful, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel where we talk about inventory management, policies and procedures, and planning. Hence the name, No One Plans to Fail. Our next look at Kaizen is within a manufacturing facility. This manufacturer is a car manufacturer. It was noticing a high return or high defects on paint. The parts would come in, they would have them painted, and they would go to the shop floor for assembly. It was noticed that there was a high return of defects. So the manufacturer assigned some people from different departments, from the paint shop, from engineering, from quality control, support staff and managers to a team to look into what was happening with the paint process. After research, they found that they could add a solution to the paint with a similar application, be able to reduce the defects coming from the paint department by 50%. That's a big drop in defects. Kaizen was used to develop a solution for defects. It used the frontline employees, their managers, support staff, engineers, and the paint department. Kaizen was used to develop a solution for defects. Let's look at Kaizen in a distribution/retail environment. Now, the front sales counter team was up here, and they had products all throughout this warehouse. This row 2 was designated for routine service on an engine. Okay. So the process would be the front sales counter would help the customer print out a picking ticket and go pick parts throughout the warehouse and come back and cash out the customer. Now, when I ran an analysis, 25% of all sales came from this row. Before we go any further, what is the name of this first row? Prime real estate. Now, how do you use prime real estate? So what products would you put here in your prime real estate area? Not high value or high priced products, but you want to put your high volume products right here. So you're able to get in here, pull the products that you need, the parts or items, and get the customer out the door. So basically, we're looking at what the old way is in the blue. He takes off from the front counter, he comes here, and 1 out of 4 chance, he's coming back to this 5th row because 25% of all sales were back here. So what we decided to do is develop high volume pick slots. Up on row 1, we moved this merchandise here and moved it over to row 5 and row 6 and put high volume items right here. So still in the blue, he would come out and boom, he would be right there. There's a 1 in 4 chance he would have something right here, and then he would be able to return. Now, this was at a time when the part sales team of 2, they had about 10,000 tickets a year. So on a 50-week average was 200 per week divided by 5 days. You're talking about 40 tickets a day. Of course, you'll have highs and lows. You bring in this closer to accommodate them so that a customer can get in and get out quickly. So that's how Kaizen works in a distribution facility. The people come and say, hey, we're walking quite a bit and it's always over here on the back aisle. Is there anything we can do? Well, of course there's something we can do. So we rearrange the parts from back here to up here and develop high volume pick slots. So that is how we accomplished a Kaizen project for a team. If this video was helpful, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel where we talk about inventory management, policies and procedures, and planning. Hence the name, No One Plans to Fail.